I didn't have.
Because you didn't know how.
Because I didn't know how.
Yeah.
That makes all the sense in the world to me.
It made sense to me, too.
Yeah, moral of the story is grow up with a father.
Yeah.
All right, before we begin the show, let's thank our sponsors. First and foremost, our title sponsor, Once Upon a Coconut. All natural, non-GMO coconut water with natural electrolytes and no added sugar. You can choose from pure, blueberry, pineapple, watermelon, sparkling energy, and chocolate flavors with Once Upon a Coconut. Stay hydrated and refreshed. And if you're wondering why it tastes so darn good, it's due to a combination of factors, including the freshness and sweetness of young coconut water, the lack of additives, and the natural electrolytes present. And the best part about it, Once Upon a Coconut, 10% of profits go to charity that benefit our communities, including the Down Syndrome Foundation, Breast Cancer Foundation, Leukemia Society. Good things, good people, great product. So you can grab it at some Sprouts. You can grab it on Amazon. You can go online to find a store near you or purchase it right there off of their website, onceuponacoconut.com. It is delish. Big thanks to Inspect All Pest Services, our buddy Nick and the crew over at Inspect All Pest Services, providing the highest quality termite, pest, and wildlife control. That's not all they do. Inspect All can take care of your insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and other home services in Metro Atlanta and the surrounding areas. Remember, seasonal, you get different bugs and critters all around your house, so you want to go with the best in the business, and that would be one of our fine sponsors from day one, InspectAllServices.com. It's the Mad Dog, Manny Aurora, with the Aurora Law Firm, best darn defense attorney in the world, litigating all over the United States, based out of Georgia. We're talking criminal defense, white-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, appeals, and more. And you can always get your legal questions answered by the Mad Dog, Manny Aurora, by getting those to me. And when he pops up on a show, you get your questions answered. So go to thebaileyshow.com and we'll get those questions to the Mad Dog. The Aurora Law Firm.com. He is the best in the business when it comes to therapists. There's no doubt about that. I use them, and so should you. We're talking about Dr. David Markwell with Ridgeline Counseling. He's got 10 therapists in-house, 3 different locations there in Georgia, one across from Sprayberry High School in Sandy Plains in East Cobb, Marietta near the Square in McKaysville, just outside of Blue Ridge. But if you're not in Georgia and you need to talk to the good doctor, then you can go online and get virtual sessions. Ridgeline Counseling at gmail.com if you'd like to email him directly, or go online to markwelltherapy.com. There is no better time to check if your insurance is any good. That's why FBC Insurance is waiting for you to reach out. You can call them at 888-308-1841 or email them info@fbcinsuranceservices.com. I just switched up my car insurance because I got a better deal at FBC Insurance. They were the people to find it. Perfect for new homeowners, especially if you're trying to reshop those current insurance policies. 5-star service, multi-policy, bundled discounts, and they're going to shop every carrier out there to find the best insurance for your house, flood, storm season, auto, motorcycle, boat, recreational vehicle, or just a personal policy. 888-308-1841 or go online, FBCInsuranceServices.com. Another one of our great sponsors in storm season. You have to talk to the good people at Alternate Power Solutions of Georgia. Family owned and operated. They are a Generac generator dealer, founded in 2012. So storm season, power goes out. Who knows when it's coming back on? Don't be that guy or girl that does not have a backup plan and having power for whatever it be, especially medical devices, fans, air conditioning, so on and so forth. Offering sales, service, installation, and repair of automatic home standby and portable generators. Every single one of you, when you become a customer at Alternate Power Solutions of Georgia, you get an upgraded warranty, free monitoring, and warranty repair. A+ rating with the BB&B, and you pay nothing until the job is complete. Call or request a free home assessment. You can go to their website, poweringgeorgia.com, or buzz them at 770-853-7571. Use the discount code Bailey, my last name, and get $500 off your entire installation. All right? Servicing Georgia and Tennessee. Alive Ozone Therapy Spa in Altamont Springs, Florida. This is mine and my wife's wellness spa. If you have an autoimmune, cancer, HIV, just simple biohacking, long COVID, the answer is yes to just about anything that's going on in your body. Most of the time it starts with inflammation, and ozone therapy, it decreases inflammation. So ozone therapy, we are the first and only to do it in Central Florida. That is a live ozone therapy spa. We also offer red light therapy, halo therapy, pressotherapy, PMF grounding mat, as well as naturally in-house made ozone infused products like the magnesium butter that many of you absolutely love. Ozone therapy, what is it? Quickly, it repairs and rejuvenates your cells to the mitochondrial level by using activated oxygen. Simple as that. No side effects. That's all there is to it. It's a 30-minute session, and you actually burn up to 600 calories when you're in the Hocket sauna. We do it the most non-invasive way. So whether you're in the area or you want to travel, book an appointment, AliveOzoneTherapySpa.com. All the products you can get there as well. And remember, for you two peers, use the discount code BS10 to take that off those online products. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, reach out to me via thebaileyshow.com. And if you are a listener of this podcast and you need any of our great sponsors, please reach out to them. Now, let's begin.
Go ahead and leave a comment about how you deal with your children leaving home while I recover.
Honey, I raised the kids.
Our kids leaving the nest is never easy. So in order to cope, Jason and Rachel have decided to share the journey of their kids, Caleb and Ariel, or Beez as most know her. Follow the story in this podcast.
Honey, I raised the kids.
Yeah, there it is. Episode 80. 80 episodes of the Honey, I Raised the Kids podcast. This is a podcast about us becoming empty nesters, starting our second life. All in the BPX, that is the Bailey Podcast Exchange. 3 different shows, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. 1 podcast feed. All of your details, jasonbailey.com. Please don't forget, in order to get all the episodes of the BS, the Bailey Show podcast, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesdays and Thursdays are subscriber episodes. I want you to subscribe. Please subscribe. JasonBailey.com. It's very simple to do. Write it off as charity if you want. These episodes, not only on all podcast platforms, but also on the ever-growing YouTube channel for the Bailey Podcast Exchange. And again, you can get that link, all the links, jasonbailey.com. Thanks to our great sponsors. If you'd like to be a sponsor, jasonbailey.com, reach out to me. Our title sponsor is Once Upon a Coconut. Onceuponacoconut.com. Put in your zip code, find out where they sell Once Upon a Coconut nearest you. Use the discount code BS Podcast 10 at checkout and save yourself some geetuses. Thanks for being here. My name is Jason Bailey. There's my lovely wife, Rachel Guy.
Yay, me. Hi, y'all.
Collectively, we are known as RAYJAY.
I'll take it.
80 episodes. Remember when when I wanted to do this, I wanted to start this when we were in California.
Yeah.
And the guy that I was working for,
He said no.
the ass fingal that I was working for, he was like, I need you to focus. I need you to focus on the show. I'm like,
Focus on what?
I was like, I am focused on the show. Everything I want to do after the show, nobody wants to help me with. I'm focused on the show. I can do this show in my sleep. We're fine. I need you to focus on the show.
Listen, ass fingal, we like to party.
And I'd pitch all these ideas about digital. Nobody listens to digital. Nobody does podcasting. Nobody. Just focus on terrestrial radio.
Yeah, we see how that goes.
Yeah, right. And he's out of a job. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That was then. This is now. This is why we have this podcast, because we've started our second lives. Not only as empty nesters, both kids out of the house, but, Rach no longer in real estate. I'm no longer doing terrestrial radio full time, even though the podcast is syndicated on 2 iHeart stations in Florida. We have a live ozone therapy spa. If you're looking at my wife's left breast,
Look at my tatas.
look at my wife's tatas, and you can see
this tata.
she did make the tata.
I did.
She made her tata on her cricket.
I did.
Saving some geetuses by doing that. And I appreciate it.
Tata crickets.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So
I'm here for you.
on the BS podcast, we talked about this. Talked about it with Ben and Melissa, the charity gala that you and I went to the other week, but you and I have not had a chance to talk about it.
No, it's very different conversation.
Very different conversation.
Yeah.
So would you like
I was
to
actually there.
Yeah, you were there. Would you like to explain to the audience the charity gala that you first were invited to, that we attended the other week?
So we are partnered with Hope, and her husband, her and her husband have created this phenomenal charity, and it's called Vibrant Families. And what they do is they help children with, like, boys without fathers, to have a father figure and learn all the man things.
Well, I don't think that was the greatest description.
No,
because what they do as of right now, because it's still in its infancy,
new,
in its infancy. What they do is located in Sanford, Florida, which
Mm-hmm.
is right next to Orlando. So it's Central Florida. They once a month will take
They do outings.
fatherless kids on an excursion.
Yeah.
So it's not like every day they're mentoring these kids.
No. What did
not
I
yet.
make it sound like that?
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's the goal. We would like to do that so that they are all the time. Look at me.
Right.
I
So-
love them so much.
So we go to the gala and it's a
Mhm.
fancy pants affair.
It is.
You know, we're dressed up the best that we can dress up. You looked hot.
Yeah, I did. I have my fancy dress on. Do you remember when the last time I wore that dress?
Mm-mm.
No. Well, the last time I wore it was to our daughter's Beez. It was to her Sweet 16 birthday bash.
Oh, yeah.
That big MTV Sweet 16 birthday party that she had.
Yeah, that really expensive party we threw her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, that was my American Music Awards in LA dress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that dress has been around, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and it's shiny and I shake my butt.
You got little
Yeah.
tassels on it.
Look at my butt.
Looking
Look at
like
my butt.
Tina
Woo!
Turner. Good Mary, keep on turning. Grand Mary, keep on burning.
I didn't even do that. I should have.
Yeah, shake your tail feather.
Yeah,
Should've-
because I had tail feathers.
You should have shaken them.
Shiny tail feathers.
Yeah.
So
Hot
good.
and sexy.
Thanks, babe.
We go to the affair dressed to the best that we can dress to.
We did.
We don't get out much.
No, it was nice to get dressed up.
We definitely don't get out fancy pants much.
No, I did my hair and makeup.
And bathed,
Yeah,
which,
I did for that event. I did.
you know, what I've noticed, the older you get, the less you bathe.
I ozone often.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just talking about people
That's
in
like
general.
cleaning.
Me as well.
Oh, yeah. You have joined my no shower club.
You know, I understand, like, when you're a kid,
Mm-hmm.
you don't understand why older people do the things that they do,
Yeah.
act the way they act.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you really start to wrap your head around it.
You understand now.
I totally understand.
Welcome to my club.
Like when I was a kid and the guy that was in his 50s, which would be me now,
Yeah.
I'm going,
God, he's old.
yeah, why doesn't he bathe as much? That's
Did you know
disgusting.
that?
Well, you could smell it.
Oh.
But now I
Wait,
understand
Do you smell? I don't smell.
because you and I both don't bathe as often because we're older.
Oh. So, okay.
So I get it. I
Yeah.
get it.
But I ozone, so then I smell clean.
Yes, you do ozone, but you still
smell like undercarriage.
I do. Tennis undercarriage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're like, you know what? I'm not going to shower tonight because I'm going to go and play tennis tomorrow.
Right. I strategize
Okay.
it. Yeah. Like, you know what? I just did the gym today and it's only a couple hours in the bed. I'm getting up
Mhm.
early to play tennis.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to waste the water and the soap and the underwear. And
You're really saving us on water bills and
Mhm.
laundry.
Call me the conservation station.
Okay. I like that.
That's my new name.
Conservation Station
I'll
Club.
I'll justify it. So anyway, this gala was for this charity called Vibrant Families, and they help
Mhm.
young men who don't have fathers, you know,
Correct.
which I
you
obviously,
know everything about.
I obviously can totally relate to this.
You can.
Again, if you listen to the BS, you know, you're going to hear a little bit of the same stuff as far as the explanation of it. Now, the gala, just to paint you a picture, was predominantly African-American. The gentleman that runs the charity is African-American.
Mhm.
A lot of their partners are African-American, not to say that there were not non-African-American partners.
His
Actually,
wife is not.
his wife is white. Their
Yeah.
big sponsors white. So I'm telling you this for a reason, and it's
Yeah.
a good reason.
It is a good reason.
But we know statistically that there is a high percentage of young African-American males that don't have a father in the household. Okay. Statistically,
Correct.
it's a very high number.
Mhm.
That's not a racist thing to say. That's just a factual thing to say. And it's sad. And if you buy into fathers help shape young men to be better human beings, if they're good fathers,
Mhm.
then that comes into play when you have fatherless kids that are running the streets looking for that certain someone to help them tie a tie, to learn how to throw a fastball, to, you know, learn how to swing a baseball bat, to learn how to throw a football, to learn how to tackle a guy,
To learn how to be men because
learn
They-
how to
they
treat a woman.
they eventually have to be dads.
Right.
And Yeah.
Learn how to treat a woman properly
Yep.
as a queen and not as a piece of meat or as someone that's inferior to them. You know, you cherish a woman and have ethics and morals and all these things fathers should instill in their kids, especially their sons, because as most of you will probably agree, if not all of you agree with this, when you have a family and you have a mother and a father and a daughter and a son, a lot of the times, most of the time, the daughter gravitates towards the mother. They're going to have a lot more in common naturally, just like the boy would with the dad. Okay?
Correct.
I'm not saying it's 100%, but you get my drift, don't you?
I get what you're saying.
Anyway, I'm telling you the makeup of the room, because they had a group of young men that are a part of this Vibrant Families up on stage at a certain point. And they're all different colors, you know, black, white, you know, and there is not one mention from any of the speakers that were predominantly African-American speakers.
Not once.
Of it being a black thing.
Nope.
That is when I fell in love with this organization, because they are there
to help the babies,
to help the boys.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what color you are, where you're from, you know, what you think, whatever. And I firmly agree, because I'm a bastard. You know, I grew up without a good father figure. I know what it's like. It is detrimental to a young man growing up without a father. I could give a million excuses, the things that I've done, not the good things, the way that I've acted, the way that I am now, things that I wish I weren't, that I wish I would have changed when I was younger. That is all. I mean, I'm not an excuse guy, but if you boil it down, it's because there was no father figure in the house to set me straight and smack a stick over the ass.
Smack a bitch up.
You know what I mean? So, and we saw this with Caleb too. I mean, our kids, or not, how do I put this? Caleb's father he's not fatherless. He's just worthless. And
that is a true statement.
Would I be accurate on that one?
You are correct.
You know, the wannabe tough guy up in Maryland, and you know,
he's a something.
Yeah, he's a something.
But not something that I have to worry about.
And for most of you know this, Ariel's father
passed away when she was 2.
In combat,
almost 2,
in the Army. Yes, he served, and overseas he was killed.
Yep.
So I came into their lives at 10 and 5. Caleb was 10, Ariel was 5.
So when Caleb's father wasn't really around the entire time, like ever, and here and there kind of popping in and out, but not really.
Oh, let me stop you real quick, because these podcasts get around. So if that guy, I've never met Caleb's father. I've just heard and seen pictures, and I know it, and if you're listening, dude, and I know it's skewed because I only get one side of the story. I'm basing my opinion of you off of 2 things. One, you never, what?
Our son.
Well,
your son.
You never sent child support. I do know that for a fact. And if you did, it was like for a couple bucks. And 2, you talk shit about me when Caleb, my son, was up seeing you, and you're saying, well, we're going to have somebody sneak in and beat him up or slit his throat and something like. I'm like, dude, you are such Maryland wannabe tough guy trash. If I had a nickel for every time I've run across a person like you that has all these hopes and dreams and talks a big game, but then crawls back in your doghouse in the backyard, I would be a millionaire.
But do you know the difference in that? Caleb did, when he turned 18, as he needed to go and see his father. He did go and see his father.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? He came home to his dad.
Yeah.
To you.
I remember that. It was July. I forget which year. And I was in the middle of hosting the Atlanta 250, the tennis tournament.
Yep.
And I get a phone call from you.
Yep.
And I'm in this elevated production booth, and you're telling me that Caleb is getting ready to take the car that we bought him and drive to Boston and then Maryland.
He was already on his way.
He's already on his way.
Losing it.
Yeah, he went to go see some chick up in Boston. It was actually pretty hot, but turned out to be crazy.
Yep.
And then he went to Maryland to see his biological father, and you're going crazy. And I said, relax. I said, what did I tell you? And again, I hate to do this, ring the bell. I was right. I said, you have to let him do this.
You did. You were my saving grace in that situation because I was not handling it well. And well, because my whole world is protecting him. And in this situation, he's an adult. He can make that decision. He needs to make that decision. I understand that, but I can't pick him up and make it better. I just have to let it happen and watch it happen. And then after he's crushed, then help him be better.
Yeah. And that's what I told you had to, it's a wound that you have to allow to heal.
Oh, it's
naturally,
yeah.
And to the guy's credit, I remember saying, I'm like, look, you haven't talked to the dude in years.
I know you were really nice about it.
I said, maybe the guy's changed. It's like Caleb has every right to go see his biological father.
Of course.
And his biological father has every right to his son.
Of course.
You just have to let it play out.
Yeah.
Now, if Caleb was 16 or 17, then that would be a different conversation, but he was 18.
No, my anxiety came because I couldn't protect him when I knew what was going to happen.
And
I couldn't tell him what was going to happen. I just had to let it go.
And I don't know if Caleb ever told you this, but I do know one of the biggest, if not the biggest deciding factor of him wanting to get out of Dodge quickly after learning about who his biological father really is.
Spending time with him, yeah.
All he did was talk shit about us.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah,
he probably did that so that I wouldn't
that's
I'm a little fiery.
That's all he did. And I'm sitting there and, when Caleb was telling me this, I was like, Caleb, there's certain people in this world that in their mind, they create this illusion of who they think they are.
To make themselves feel better.
Right. When in reality, they have very low confidence and self-esteem, and they're just a very small speck in a very small puddle in a very small pond.
Right.
There are some people that are able to take that in a positive way and do good with it. Then there are people like Caleb's biological father that is still living like he was when he was 16 or 17 in his head. And it's just obviously the guy's not grown up. And
well, I don't understand why the man would say so many terrible things about me when, I worked really hard.
And he hasn't paid you a dime. For the most part.
Yeah.
$10 here, $10 every 5 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Child support started at 18. So I just don't understand why when we've raised an incredible human being, you would trash that.
Low self-esteem.
Sure. But, of course there are hiccups because teenagers are all assholes. But he's a good kid.
He's a great kid.
And sure, he's on the spectrum and he does some fun things that are frustrating sometimes, but you know what? You deal with it and you learn to teach him how to become a well-functioning adult, even when you're high functioning. He holds a job and he pays his bills.
Yeah.
That's not because, because of that man.
Yeah.
It's because, it's because of you teaching him how to be a man.
And then, for those that are listening, you go, well, this is kind of maybe hypocritical. Caleb has got a biological father and you're saying that fathers do all these different things. Well, there's layers to that. Like the father has to be there from day one until the very end, right?
You have to teach all the
things. You can't come in and out of the kids' lives,
No. It's a consistent
and then
process.
And then you have to, once you become a parent and even a step parent,
which is harder.
I agree. you have to have a difference of the way you look at life. The way you look at life totally changes. It's no longer about you.
Yeah.
It is about those kids, and it is about making sure that they grow up the best possible human beings that they can be.
Well, you taught him how to tie a tie. You taught him how to, everything man.
Remember the football?
Oh, he will never forget. Do you want to know when you traumatize our child?
Yeah. Both of them. Football and jet ski.
Yep. You sure did. Tight work on the floor, Dad.
So the football thing with Caleb was when Rach and I just first started dating. And I was so excited to make a good impression on Caleb. I was like, this was me when I was this age. Now I'm going to step in and I'm going to do all this cool stuff that you're supposed to do.
So not knowing that Caleb does not sport.
Yeah. Sport is not his thing. Zero athletic ability. We go out to this big field by where I was living. And I was like, all right, man, here, catch football. And I throw the football and it like boink, it hits him. I'm like, you make your hand a diamond, and then just bring it in.
Trying to teach him, and you kept hitting him with the ball. And he will never forget that.
It was like that scene in Private Parts where Howard Stern throws the Frisbee at the special ed guy and it just hits him in the nose and it just keeps hitting. He's like, you got to put your hands up, man, and catch it. Yeah. Caleb refuses. So my mentality at that time was, well, look, if the bird doesn't fly once, just keep throwing it up in the air. It'll eventually pick it up.
No.
And so I'm just beaming the ball at Caleb and he starts to cry and he's running from me. Like I'm the devil.
I know. It was
horrible.
It was good trauma.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
And then with Ariel,
have you had that conversation with him to let him know that like you weren't like actually throwing the ball at him, like you were trying to do like dad things and like catch the ball? No. You probably should have that conversation.
I will. Christmas time.
Okay. All right.
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And with Ariel, our yearly trip to the Bahamas, when I was in my 20s and I would go there all the time. And my big thing was as soon as I got off it was usually the boat. I didn't fly in until later in life, but I would take a cruise. I would get out and by myself, I would go find a jet ski guy, negotiate a deal, get a jet ski by myself and just bolt around the island. And there's a lighthouse and I found all these neat little spots, but there was one spot in the middle of nowhere and I would stand up on the jet ski and I would lean back and just fall into the clear ice blue water. And that was my thing. So I'm bragging about this. This was like our first trip, I think, to the Bahamas.
And Caleb thinks it's amazing.
I'm like, we're getting jet skis.
But he's stuck because he's on with me.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that.
So Caleb with mom, Beez with me. And we go out there and we're chasing each other and we're having fun and we're splashing. And anybody that's ridden a bicycle or ridden a motorcycle or an ATV or been on a jet ski, that when you turn, you lean into the turn, right?
Yeah, but you didn't tell her that, I don't think.
Or you lean against it.
I don't think you told her.
And so we're doing that and it flips and she flips out.
Because she's in the open water and there are sharks. She will never, for the rest of her life, get on another jet ski.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
You have ruined that for her.
I know.
Now, so with her, my first husband was killed in the military. She was 1.5 years old. And so there is a different style of growing up with, growing without a parent or without a dad. Mm-hmm. And so they were 5 and 9 when we first met. And that's when, and nobody ever knows how to be a parent. I don't freaking know how to be a parent. You learn something new every day, but I had practice and you're welcome. I brought them to you, potty trained and,
that's great.
And sleeping through the night, no diapers. You crushed it.
Yeah. So
you, sir, coming from being a bachelor.
Oh, I know. It was a good one too.
Bastard bachelor. Mm-hmm. You were learning on the fly.
Mm-hmm. There was no book. I tried to find one. Nothing.
No books.
No.
There's no books on that.
No.
And we have, for 14 years, raised incredible human beings. They are good kids, young adults.
And that's why,
but that's because of you, because we have a good, strong family unit and the dad things they call you for.
And you go back to the beginning of this conversation with the charity gala. It's kind of the point of this episode is it's important. I'm not trying to put myself over here, but I stepped in and I filled a void, and I tried the best that I possibly could. And I messed up a lot. I know.
You tried the best you could with not knowing how.
Correct.
But you didn't not know how, like parents don't know how. You also did not have that role model, that figure. So you really didn't know how.
So not only did I not know how, I really did not know how to not know how.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have.
Because you didn't know how.
Because I didn't know how.
Yeah.
That makes all the sense in the world to me.
It made sense to me too.
Yeah, moral of the story is grow up with a father.
Yeah.
So you know how.
Yeah. And like when Caleb's getting ready to go for homecoming and he needs to put a tie on, he doesn't know how to put a tie on. I don't know how to do a tie. And he didn't even think, he did not even hesitate to come. He did not ask me. Did not ask me. He went directly to you for you to teach him how. I have the cutest picture on the face of the planet of you teaching him how to tie a tie.
Right.
And then, I mean, like the dad things that moms just don't get. I remember very vividly the boob pictures on Caleb's phone.
That was when we first moved to Atlanta, 2013.
Oh my God. And you go in there. I'm like, I go downstairs to you and I'm like, what do I do? Oh my God. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know. Like,
I mean, he had not a couple. He had thousands.
Oh, he had so many tatas on his phone.
Think about Gen Xers when we grew up. We would go get the Playboys under the mattress, in the other room and stuff. And we might get a couple good boob pictures, maybe a nipple in the snow on the TV at midnight or something.
He had the internet at his fingertips.
Dude, he had thousands.
There were so many. And I didn't know what to do. I don't know the first thing about that. And so I go down to you and I'm like, you got to handle this. This is a dad thing. This is not something that I need to have the conversation with my son about. No, this is a father-son conversation. And you go up there and you're like, tight work on the floor, dude. So do me a favor and hide them better so your mom doesn't see them. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? For real?
Kid was 13 years old. He's into boobs. That's a good thing.
I don't know. I don't know. And then, I mean, like, there's so many different things that, like, it was a necessity for a dad, necessity for you to have these conversations, to go through these things with him, because it's just not a mom's place.
Yeah.
Because I don't get it.
So you also look at the dynamic. So it's not just having the father figure there to do all these things, but the dynamic is if you have a single mother, she's most likely working and often, which means that there's no supervision.
Lots of downtime for trouble
in the house. If there is supervision, it might be from a family member. And so that means, they might be great, but they're not raising your kid the way you want them to be raised.
Correct.
But you're kind of at their disposal. Then you start to get into, well, look, I still need a personal life. So then you start dating and you then have to find a guy that's cool with that.
Yeah.
And then you bring a guy into the mix, and dating is experimenting, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. So with you, I didn't give you an option. I said, this is what you get. Take it or leave it. You get what you get. It's me here, kids.
Yeah, I was cool with it, which was a shocker to me. But my point is that, when you have that single mother in that dynamic without a father for these kids in the household, or a male figure,
there's a lot that gets missed.
A lot that gets missed, and a lot of bad things that could happen.
Not intentionally. It just
it's
hard.
If they have no relationship with a male figure, then they don't know who to talk to about certain things.
Yeah.
Which then that causes a whole other issue. So, there's so many good things that this Vibrant Families is doing and trying to do.
Yeah.
Again, it's in its infancy. It's only a couple of years old, I believe. And they're trying to grow, become a national organization, which I think is great. So I'm definitely going to do my part, and I'm going to participate. And
I think you'll be a good mentor.
I love that stuff, man.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I mean,
Well, you've got good practice too. Now you can know that if maybe the kid is not into throwing the football, you probably won't throw it more than once.
right. Yeah. I was a bad camp counselor too. I did that for a summer
Yeah.
when I was in college.
I
And
don't see that as it.
I
Just pick up the ball.
I don't know if I got fired or they
fire camp counselors.
didn't ask me back or something happened.
Oh.
But it was we were outside with the kids.
Mhm.
And there was this one kid that was just kind of a dick. And I said, let's play dodgeball.
Oh, buddy.
But it was the dodgeball where you have to keep your back up against the wall and I have the ball. And I'm like 10 feet
What?
from you.
What? What?
So this is a backboard. You know, you're scooting left.
I don't know that game.
And I just kept hitting this kid with the ball. You know, the rubber ball. But they frowned upon that.
So I would think so. I don't
It's
think I've-
dodgeball with a backboard where
I've never heard of that.
I call it suicide dodgeball or
So you want to know
kamikaze
the difference?
dodgeball or something. What?
The difference between growing up here, I grew up with both of my parents.
Mhm.
We didn't play suicide dodgeball
Okay.
ever.
Well, when you don't have enough people, that's how you play dodgeball.
Against the wall, so you can be pelted.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of fun of it. I mean,
Is it fun?
yeah, I mean you can still catch the ball.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And you just have to dodge. Like you can pull your hips out and you can shimmy. You just can't come off the wall.
I feel like we should try and play this with our adult children.
Sure.
Now everybody can drink alcohol. I feel like it's a good idea.
Right. So anyway, it was a great gala. They raised a lot of money for the organization.
They did.
We learned a lot about it. We met some very nice people. The food was absolutely delicious.
It was. You looked like you were starving.
Oh my God, I ate so much, too much. I was like the fat kid. I took 2 potatoes and 3 pieces of chicken.
I know. You came back you went to the buffet
I know.
at Golden Corral.
I don't know. I was so hungry. I was starving.
Like, oh, what are you doing? I can't. I was talking too much. I couldn't even finish all my dinner.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was our big outing, and that was cool.
It was a good date night.
It was a good date night.
Mm-hmm.
And then we look forward to going up and seeing Beez here soon at the University of Alabama.
Yep, I've got that all planned
for the LSU game.
Yep, the girls today have told us that they would like for us to make our sandwich trays again.
Okay, so that's what we'll bring to the. We don't know. We don't go into the game. We tailgate.
Yeah,
and the tailgate's like a suite at the Hyatt.
Yes.
It's really nice.
It's very nice. But they want the little Hawaiian sandwiches and Rice Krispie treats again.
Okay.
So they were a hit last time.
That was a good call.
Good
We got
tailgate food.
TVs out there. People that tailgate for SEC games, especially at Alabama, it's almost like they moved an apartment outside.
It's no joke.
They've got 60-inch, 70-inch televisions out there.
It's like a religion.
Yeah, it's crazy time.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Are you going to shotgun with your daughter?
No, she's not 21.
Okay.
Remember last time we went tailgate. It was, I'll never forget this, Alabama Georgia game, right?
Mhm.
Or Georgia Alabama game.
Mhm. I caught shit for that.
Right. And that was with somebody that we used to know, made a big deal about something they had no idea about.
She's literally a junior in college.
Yeah. Well,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now she's a junior in college.
So now I have that memory with
oh, you better get rid of it.
That experience.
Yep.
I'm like, oh,
better let it go because your daughter has expectations.
I don't know. What were we going to talk about with Beez? Oh, we did. Just with Beez not knowing her dad.
Yeah, she doesn't. And I mean, obviously he passed away when she was a baby.
By the way, let me tell y'all, listen, that was a tough one for me because her grandmother, I mean, it was like I didn't exist for years.
For a very long time.
And
she was a dick about it.
I bit my tongue. I mean, I had people around me. I had friends that'd be like, I can't believe you put up with this. And I'm like, it's not a big deal. I mean, I can't really say anything or I'm going to sound like a dick. And then it got to a point where I was like, I got to say something.
I got to be a dick.
I got to be a dick because this is getting out of control.
It was too much.
It was way too much. I'm like, look, woman, I don't know who you think I am, but give a little data boy to me, would you? Please.
Something.
That was
It's ridiculous. I have so many things to say. It's fine. I'll get in trouble. I like my happy little bubble.
Yeah.
It's a happy little bubble that I live in.
It's kind of interesting. We're having this conversation about being fatherless and, when I came in with our kids and this and that.
Yeah.
Then I look back in my life, the male figures that I had. So my first memory of any male figure was Pat.
Who's Pat? I don't think I've ever heard of Pat.
My memory of Pat
Uh-huh.
was nighttime. I think it was 2 or 3, probably 3.
Okay.
Nighttime, living room, smoking cigarettes in our house.
Okay.
Had a porn mustache.
Oh.
And for some
I
reason,
feel like this is going in a wrong direction.
he
But
was
okay.
bathing me.
What?
He put me in the bathtub and he was smoking and the water was too hot. And he said, shut up and take a bath.
Oh my God.
That was my first memory of a male figure, somebody my mother was dating.
Who is Pat? Just some guy?
Pat with a stash.
What? Why was he bathing you?
Good
Man,
question.
This is so odd.
I know.
That's not a good conversation.
It's memory.
Sorry.
Not the best, but my first
Sorry.
memory of a male figure in my life was Pat the stash cigarette guy.
Yeah.
In the bathtub.
In the bathtub.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then the second is Lloyd.
Yeah.
Which,
He was abusive.
yeah, physically, he's the
Yeah.
guy that choked me out and all this stuff, beat up my
Mhm.
mom. He was a real dick.
Yeah.
They all start out good. But my first memory of Lloyd was great.
Okay.
Where it's wintertime in Maryland and we go to his big, beautiful house. And you got to remember, we were extremely poor.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to this house and it was like, crazy, this huge yard and it's on the water and he had a boat. And
Oh, we went to that house.
right, that's the house.
Oh,
And
okay.
and there was the tree, which still stands in the backyard.
Yeah.
That I went to start climbing
Mm-hmm.
because I had never climbed a tree. And
How
I was
old were you?
5. I was 5.
Oh.
And I had never climbed a tree. And I thought in my head, this is how life should be. I now have a father and I have a yard
And you can climb a tree.
and I can climb a tree. And I went and I started climbing the tree. And what made it even better was my mom said, Jace, get down from that tree. And Lloyd says, oh, no, he's a boy. Let him climb the tree.
Oh, that's good.
And I was like, hell yeah, man. I got me a dad. Hell yeah. And then about a year later, he broke my mom's nose. He chokes me out. And then it's a horrible relationship.
He choked you out at 6?
No. He waited until I was 10.
Wow.
But he beat up my mom that night where he broke her nose. We went to go to the hospital. I was 6 or 7.
That's not good.
So there was like
good trauma.
3+ years of abuse.
Wow.
All the time.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
That's not good.
But there were times where he's cool. The one thing that he taught me was to be organized.
Okay.
He taught me to get your work done first before you play.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me to have an education,
Mhm.
learn as much about anything
I'm not going to pay for it, but you need to have one.
as possible.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you know what? So when they got divorced and I was, I guess, 11 years old and we had now moved to Naples, Florida,
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting at my Commodore 64 desk in my bedroom. And he comes in my bedroom and he says, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, yes. And I'm terrified of this guy. Like, you can do whatever you want, dude.
Yeah.
And he says, you obviously know about me and your mother. I said, yes, sir. And he said, okay, well, I'm not going to be around. I'm going to be leaving and you'll never see me again. He goes, but I want you to continue doing well in school throughout your entire life. That's the most important thing you can do
Okay.
is have an education. And he said, and if you ever need help with your education, reach out to me. I thought that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah. I thought
So
that
he
was,
cared about you. That's good.
and literally, I don't think I ever saw him again other than the freak run in on my first honeymoon.
Wow.
Yeah. That
All
was,
right.
that was about it. And then there there wasn't like a lot of dating that I knew of in between. Like, I think when her and Lloyd divorced, it was right to Dom.
Oh.
Yeah, because I knew Dom before my mom did.
From where?
Now we're living in Naples, Florida. But what would happen is after I would leave the house in the morning and I'd ride my bike up the street to get on the bus, they would fight, I guess, like every day. And she would leave the house and walk around the community. Now, this community is called Quail Creek. It is a very high-end community, guard gates, and I mean, highfalutin, really nice, right? And so she would walk around the neighborhood crying. And Dom
saw her crying.
would see her walk past his house.
Oh,
and
damsel in distress.
He was going through a divorce at the time as well.
Oh, she's good.
But I met Dom before my mom knew Dom because I met him. I think first I met him when I knocked on his door to get money to raise funds for my Little League team.
Okay.
And it was, will you sponsor me for how far I can throw a baseball?
And what did he
And
say?
well, he said yes, of course.
Okay.
So the baseball field it's like, what is it? 150 feet, 200 feet. I don't know, whatever. Little League baseball field. But I had an arm on me and I could throw the ball at least up into the fence, if not over the fence.
Okay. That's far.
Right. So the charity was sponsor each foot or yard that I could throw.
Okay. So like $5 a foot.
Yes, something like something like that. But he gave me like a crazy amount of money. He thought he was just donating one amount.
Oh, okay.
So when I threw it and I came back to his house and I said, like, dude, you owe me like $1,000 or something.
Oh my God.
And I forget what happened or what he did. And I forget how that worked out. I mean, the guy had tons of money. He's a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
But I also would play tennis with him. So he would be up. He was a very, very good tennis player. He was up at the club every day as I was starting to play tennis.
Okay.
And he would hit with all the kids.
Oh, that's nice.
There was a group of us that would play, and he would always jump in and play this because he was very good and he'd beat all of us, right?
Yeah.
But we thought it was like, oh, cool. Old dude's playing tennis with us and this and this and that. And he was cool. So we moved out of Quail Creek because that wasn't our house and we couldn't afford to live there. My mom has to get a job now.
Okay.
Back to reality. And we move into this neighborhood, which I loved. I thought it was pretty cool because it was so close to school. I felt like I hated being wealthy. I wanted to be normal like all the other kids. I wanted working parents. I wanted to be in a neighborhood that there wasn't a guard gate that my friends had to go through. I wanted to be able to walk to places. I always wanted to be able to walk to school. I thought that was cool. Now,
you're the only one on the planet.
Now I'm in that. Now I'm there.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. And then the next thing I know, there's a knock at the door. My mom says she's going out with a friend. I didn't think twice about it. And this dude's at the door. I'm like, tennis guy.
What's up, buddy?
I go, tennis guy.
Hi, friend.
And he was so pleasant and he was so nice. One of the big reasons why that relationship didn't work out is because I was such an asshole. I was an asshole teenager.
Yeah, but you know what?
I screwed that one up.
You've been there, and asshole teenage boys, it's every single one of you. That way.
I was Caleb times 10.
Oh my God.
I was so bad.
Why?
So again, going back to the basis of this podcast there is an uncontrollable, unexplainable anger in a young man that grows up without a father.
Okay.
You are angry that he's not there.
Yeah.
You're angry because you don't know why he's not there.
Okay.
You're angry that all of your friends have a father and you don't. You're angry at, I don't know if they do this anymore, but they did it when I was a kid. Bring your dad to school day.
Oh, buddy, you're big mad.
Oh, dude, you try sitting there with an empty chair. And like, what does your dad do?
I don't know.
Oh, he's invisible. He's a magician.
Oh my God, that's so sad. Babe, I love my dad. He's Superman.
Your dad's great.
I know.
You're lucky.
I have had him forever.
Yeah, Poppy's great.
I know. I love him so much.
Poppy's a real dad.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like, he's the reason why I know how to play with cars.
Worship aliens.
Yeah, worship aliens. I'll do that.
Mhm.
All the things. Like, my dad taught me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even as a girl, my dad taught me how to be a dude.
Yeah, I know. That's why I call you Ray.
Hey, listen,
Hey, Ray.
when we first started dating and you didn't know how to fix the toilet, but I did.
I know. I like a
My
good man in my
dad,
life.
thank you, Dad, for teaching me how to be a dude.
Thanks, Poppy, for bringing your son over to my house.
I got it.
Mhm.
Don't worry. I fix everything myself. I can.
You're the hottest looking Ray I know. I can tell you that right now.
If I can't fix it, Dad can.
I know. I just like watching you fix it. Get that plumber's crack in the back. Mm-hmm.
So you didn't know where this name came from, RAYJAY?
Yeah.
It's two dudes.
Raymond James.
What? What?
Raymond
God.
guy.
Raymond.
Raymond.
No, listen. So my dad taught me how to do everything. I understand as a girl because I don't understand on your level because I grew up with my dad, but I do understand like the missing out on those really essential things to be taught.
Mm-hmm.
Because my dad died. Like, I don't know where I would be. What would I do when I was a single mom if I didn't know how to fix the toilet by myself? I mean, it costs money to call somebody to come over and fix it, or I have to go to find some friend, some dude to come over and fix my toilet.
Yeah.
The hell if I'm doing that.
And you know what he's going to want in return?
No.
He's going to want you to touch his pipes.
Ew. No. The hell. If I will lean on any male to do anything, I'll do it myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now you can do it for me.
Yeah. Now I know how to do all this stuff.
Yeah. Now you know how to. So I don't have to do it anymore. And you can be the man.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Well,
yeah.
After 14 years, you're allowing me to be the man. I appreciate that. And that's like, when you think about them growing up, them being the kids
Mm-hmm.
and having the father in their lives, you also now have to look at like where we're at as empty nesters. And it's kind of like, if you did research your entire life
Mm-hmm.
and you waited for an exact moment, 18 years later, to put all that research and knowledge to use.
Yeah.
And it's successful. Like you finally learned how to fly to Mars or launch a rocket or build a car or whatever the case may be. Kids are kind of the same thing, is that for 18 years,
You trying to figure it out?
no, you do everything you possibly can to help them become the best person they can be.
Oh, absolutely.
And then when they go off on their own and you see how they implement what they've learned from the parents,
Mm-hmm.
and from a guy's point of view, the father,
Mm-hmm.
since that's kind of the topic of conversation here, that's when you've won, right? You achieved what you wanted to achieve, but that's the final battle. That's the final boss, is when they go out into the real world and they're able to implement what they've learned. And when you have kids that grow up without fathers, they're missing 50% of the knowledge that they should have.
Sure.
For when they turn 18 or
Mm-hmm.
whenever it is that they go out in the real world. You've handicapped that kid. So, I see it all the time. I've got friends that, fathers aren't in their kids' lives and the mother doesn't want the father and the kids. I mean, there's so many different scenarios. I mean, and I don't know all of them, especially you listen to what your scenario is, but you just hope and pray and you wish that there's a way, even if the mother and the father have issues,
Mm-hmm.
that you can still have some type of dynamic where the kid can learn from the biological father and maybe then the stepdad. I have a radio friend that is extremely successful, and what he did in his career, I envy. He's a jock. He plays a lot of music. He's one of those guys, but he's very good at it. He's good in the digital front as well.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a successful morning show, or he had a morning show in Atlanta. And I think over time, he could have probably had success. But they lose their gig.
Mhm.
They then are offered a job in Dallas, which is another very big radio market. And he had been with his partner on the radio for years. They were best friends and everything. He turns down the gig. I mean, I think I'm getting the story right. He turns down the gig and he says, I'm moving back to Chicago because that's where my son is at. And I want to be around him as he gets older. He didn't have a job.
Yeah.
He didn't have anything. So his partner goes and does mornings in Dallas and is still on the air. Good guy, very talented and very successful.
Mhm.
And then Scotty goes to Chicago back home to be around his kid.
Yep.
He has this relationship with the boy's mother and the boy's mother's husband, and they have a healthy dynamic of co-parenting.
Sure.
And I see pictures of them on social media all the time together with his kid. He ended up finally getting a job and then getting a full-time job. I mean, I think it started out as part-time and then full-time. And now he's like syndicated all over the country. So, I mean, he played his cards right and it's all well-deserved. But that's what it's all about.
That's when you get out of your own way and know it's about the kids.
Right. And radio people, I mean, these jobs are far and few in between. And this is for any job, right? I mean, you want that job and you want the raise and you want the promotion and you will chase the brass ring. You'll chase the hug. And whether it works or not, who knows? I know it didn't work for me. Well, it worked for me in Atlanta, but it didn't work in California. But there comes a point in time where you have to say enough is enough, family first.
There are other things that are more important.
Right. And then just figure out what you're going to do based around your family. I mean, I was asked the other day, I'm asked this actually quite often, is, would you move for a job? Would you move for a job? And I say, no. I don't care what the job is. I'm not moving for the job.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that before. Well, I guess I'm 50-50, but last time I did it was the worst experience of my life. And it angered me because I got sucked into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got screwed over by literally two people. And
can I have an opinion on that?
Sure.
If it moves us closer to Beez, okay.
What are you going to do with a life? She graduates in a year and a half.
And then Beez, come back.
Year and a half she graduates.
Okay,
You're gonna move to some farm in Alabama. She's gonna be like, bye.
No,
I'm moving.
She'll come and love me.
And then she's gonna have to come visit us. We're gonna be stuck in the middle of Alabama, which is not a bad place to be stuck in. But
Listen, it's fine. I'll commute.
By then we'll, have so many Alive Ozone Therapy Spa franchises.
Let's open another one.
We could just have our managers report back to us as we spend the last days of our lives on a big farm in
it's fine.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah, near Beez.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just open another one. It's fine.
I'd totally be okay with that. All right. Well, let's wrap this up and a nice little bow. Thank you to all of our great sponsors for the BPX. Remember, 3 different shows, 5 days a week. So this is Honey, I Raised the Kids, but we have the BS, which is a totally different show and totally different content. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Remember, Tuesdays and Thursdays are just for subscribers. So when you go to Spotify and you can't play it, or you go to another platform, you don't even see it. There's a reason for that. You have to go to jasonbailey.com and hit the subscribe button and then sign up to subscribe. It's $4.99 a month. I know you're like, that's crazy amounts of money. Really? Is it? I mean, you should see all the work I do on these shows. 25 cents a show or something like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm like one of those Sally Struthers kids, right? Needing a mosquito net. So if you don't mind, subscribers are great. And I appreciate each and every one of you. So jasonbailey.com to subscribe. Then Friday's another free show. It's the Vinyl Road Podcast. Me and Brad Stewart of Saliva. Lots, whether you're into rock and roll or Saliva or want to hear the stories on the road and all that kind of stuff or not, I got to tell you, we started this podcast at the right time because Saliva's original frontman is beefing with the current band, and we've kind of become the voice of Saliva in the media. So we're getting all kinds of publicity based off of what Brad Stewart is saying through the podcast in response to what Josie, the original lead singer, has done, releasing the diss tracks. So it's turned out to be very, very interesting. So that's something to listen to, just giving you something different. Our YouTube channel, I don't know what has happened, but just in the past week, We've gained 5,000 plus subscribers. That's free, of course, on the BPX. So it's, again, you can get that link off of jasonbailey.com. It's a lot easier that way. All of the shows have their own Instagram at Honey, I Raised the Kids, at Listen to the BS, at the Vinyl Road Podcast. And of course, the BS has Twitter and has Facebook because that's kind of the OG. Again, all those links on jasonbailey.com. You want to be a sponsor, there's information there. You can become a sponsor and contact me. Thanks to our title sponsor, Once Upon a Coconut. Again, onceuponacoconut.com. Best damn coconut water in the land. BS Podcast 10 at checkout. Save yourself some Gatuses. And each and every Saturday, the BS is syndicated to 2 different radio stations in Florida, one on WJRR, one in Planet Radio. WJRR is in Orlando, Planet Radio is in Jacksonville. Saturday morning, 6 to 9, it's a condensed version of the Bailey Show podcast with rock and roll. If you're not in those listening audiences, you can listen on the iHeartRadio app. And if you dig it or you just want to support, please go to those radio stations' Facebook pages and Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff and say how much you love it. That would be pretty cool as well. So without you, I can't push. I need you. Help me help you to help me. How about that? Push. We got to push people around. Gonna push you around. Matchbox 20.
Push it real good.
Push it real good. Push it real good.
This is what I get, ladies.
All right. Do you have anything before we get out?
But thanks for being a good dad to our kids.
You're welcome.
I work on the floor.
You're good. All right. Have yourself a great, safe rest of your day. If you're going to be doing some drinking, I understand. I get it. But if you've had too much, please don't get behind the wheel of a car. I've lost way too many friends like that. And definitely don't go posting on social media because you will lose way too many friends like that as well. Enjoy the shows this week. Thanks for the support. We'll talk to you soon. And bye.
I realize not everyone feels this way. And if you are okay with this stage of your life, honestly, more power to you.
Thanks for listening. Get more information at episodes on thebaileyshow.com.
Honey, I raised the kids.
3 different shows, 5 days a week, 1 feed, details, and to subscribe, jasonbailey.com.